Hi, this is Asim.
This is Sujoy.
This is Amrita.
And you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast about the three main Khans of the Hindi film industry:
Amir,
Salman,
And Shara.
Hi, you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast regular feed. Thank you so much for your support over the years. We now have a Patreon channel with bonus content and exclusive merch for those of you who would like to support us. Every dollar goes towards creating more and better content. Visit us at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast.
Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Khandaan Podcast. My name is Asim Bernie, and I'm joined with my lovely co-hosts Sujoy and Amrita. Hey, Sujoy. Hey, Amrita.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I realized I switched it around. Usually I say Amrita and Sujoy, and now I feel like all discombobulated by doing that. Like, why did I do that? But yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. We're doing a short episode in a way because I want to do a tribute to Dharmendra. Basically, we normally do Khandaan movies and like Khan movies or recent review things, but we wanted to just I think it was such a monumental loss that we just wanted to take a moment to kind of pay respect. So we thought, we'll talk a bit about Dharmendra, and we watched one of his movies. Hard to pick a movie, and like that can encapsulate this legend. And I don't know, like I thought, like I'll be on my end. I would say that I've not seen a lot of his work. Like I when I started watching his stuff, he was already in his 80s He-Man era, and Amitabh had basically taken over what it was like post Sholay kind of situation, right? So a lot of his work I came to later, and also it was a discovery for me to watch all of his movies that were more artsy to a certain degree, like which I just saw him as Kshatriya, Loha. That's the kind of Dharmendra I knew. So we had to kind of rely on Amrita for that. But before we get into the movie, so you picked Amrita. Just say the mention what and why, and then we talk about our thoughts about Dharmendra.
I do. First, I just want to say that I've never heard the word Kshatriya pronounced as Kshatriya before, and I appreciate at this solemn occasion, Asim has
I
to
would
do
say
it.
Ekta Kapoor would be very happy that you didn't drop the K.
How do you say it though? Like
Kshatriya, just Kshatriya.
Kshatriya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you have the K then?
Like say you say Laksh, and then like the ksh sound, it becomes Kshatriya.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's
It's
when
it's an unusual Hindi sound, yeah.
you read titles on a VHS,
Yeah.
and you knew that 30 years later you would be pronouncing the word on a podcast.
Embarrass yourself in public. Yeah.
No shame, no shame. The embarrassment is not there, but just the thought that
Yeah.
I watched this movie 30 years ago. Nobody's talked about it since, unless you read it again on Twitter, which you're reading. You're not actually hearing
Yeah.
it. So-
like somebody, like maybe us at some point, we should do like a rewatch of Kshatriya, because I remember it being like bonkers. Like
I
this is the
really
one-
enjoyed it back in the day, like
Wasn't
all
it-
muscles
wasn't
and
it-
swords.
Yeah, wasn't it with like Rajesh Khanna and Dharmendra and then Hema Malini, and like it was like a whole cast of people, and they were all behaving
Shirtless.
like, oh, am I thinking of Rajput?
No,
could be
that's the
that.
one. Like everybody has their shirt off and they're like sacrificing cows and then they fight over them, and it's like it's insane. Like a lot of people taking off shirts that should not be taking off shirts, but I loved it.
I feel like we should do a rewatch of Kshatriya. If you think that there should be a Khandaan rewatch of Kshatriya, write into us on youpodcasting@gmail.com.
How many people
But-
will say you should have done that instead of the movie you're doing now?
No, because the movie that we are doing today is one of my all-time favorite movies, and it's called Blackmail, and it stars Dharmendra with Rakhi and Shatrughan Sinha, and it's from 1973, and it is so lovely, and like I love it. Like if these two come at me and say that they didn't enjoy it, I'm gonna fly to London just to, like, pop them in the nose, because this is honestly like 10 on 10 music. It has a formula, and it literally begins with, like, the scientific temperament of India, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
I
I
do have to
like.
say, no, sorry. Just I saw Kala Patthar and now I saw Blackmail. I think my quota of Shatrughan Sinha is done. I'm adding a K there.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Sujay, I cut you off.
What was I about to say? Can't remember.
So then tell us what was Dharmendra for you, Sujay? Like, oh, how does this loss kind of like feel for you?
It's weird. It's really weird. Like one of the greats is gone. When Amar Akbar Anthony, you get the vibe of Rishi Kapoor is gone, and now Vinod Khanna is gone. It's only Amitabh Bachchan remaining, and from Sholay now Amitabh Bachchan and Dharmendra is gone, and you had the Shashi movies, and Shashi Kapoor is gone. It's only Amitabh Bachchan, one of the greats, that is the last man standing. I don't know how he must be feeling to
You,
be,
s- I don't know if you saw the reels, like people at the funeral, like he looked broken. Like Amitabh looked, he was eye cry, like tears in his eyes, and I don't even know. Like, I mean, I do know because I'll be honest, like it's a personal thing, but like I see it in my dad. A lot of his friends
Mhm.
have passed away, and he has that feeling of like he's one of the last ones standing, and there's this moments where he has nobody to call,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it hits you, it hits you.
This
Yeah.
I see that in my dad too. Like it's there's nobody to call and there's nobody to remember.
Hmm.
Like, hey, do you remember when that happened and this happened? And there's nobody there for my
Hmm.
dad to call and be like,
Yeah.
hey, you were there with me. Like that
Yeah,
doesn't it doesn't happen for him anymore.
yeah, it's
But
sad. It really hit me, that
yeah,
like that part of it. Yeah.
I mean, from a legacy perspective, like Dharmendra will, for me, like everybody around me growing up used to say the most beautiful Bollywood hero ever to
Hmm.
have graced the screens. In his earlier work, even in his 70s, maybe not in the 80s where he was doing Kantisha movies. And, I guess he sort of filled a gap in the market by doing those movies. Nobody else was picking up on those and the Daku movies and stuff. But uh, there was still fun to be had in like Nokar Bivika and all of those movies. And then he obviously, single-handedly financed and funded the careers of Sunny Deol to begin with, until they took a life of their own. And also like Bobby Deol and all that. So Dharmendra was a big part of Bollywood growing up for me. The first image that I have is obviously like a Viru from Sholay,
Yeah.
but also I remember the Rocky montage from what's the name of the movie? Now I'll forget it.
Apne.
Main Intakam Lunga.
Oh. Yeah,
Do you
okay.
remember that there is
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
almost like a shot by shot copy of Rocky Four? The workout with the logs and running up the hill, and it's hilariously bad, but
Yeah.
Dharmendra works the hell out of it. Of course, the second or the third or whatever innings you may call, uh, in the last decade or the decade before that, when he did Johnny Qatar, will always be one of my favorite movies. And yeah, Life in a Metro or even Rocky or Rani. And what a legend, what a legacy of movies to leave behind.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I grew up watching his movies, and yeah, I'm happy to be talking about it now.
I'm so happy that he got those quality second innings movies too. Like
Mhm.
the love he got for Rocky and Rani was like so big. Like so many people rediscovering him,
Yeah.
and like he was so great. And like his moments with Shabana Azmi were probably the best ones. Like
Mhm.
people were laugh out loud, clapping, like
Yeah.
what is happening, people like, and he got those scenes. It's just
Yeah.
amazing. Um, but yeah, and like like even like it's hard to say like second innings, but like I even really like the Salman Khan movie Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya. I thought like that was such a good role that he had in there, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And when you think about it, that movie came 1 year after Loha.
Mm.
Like it's insane, but
Yeah.
it really shifted the way we saw him. Like a lot of those 80s, like the Rocky movie you're saying, or a lot of these Loha, Kshatriya, Kshatriya. I improve, but they really had that thing that Amitabh had, where so many filmmakers still see him as the older, angry young man, and they just want to
Yeah.
replicate that. And that was that era. But then, really, I would say Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya, the
Johnny
Johnny
Gadar.
Gaddar, those really forced him into kind of this era where like, Rishi Kapoor was allowed to do that.
Mhm.
Amitabh was allowed to do that, and not many actors are allowed to do that. And he
Yeah,
was,
it's
and he,
definitely like inarguably one of the greats, and
yeah,
you can see the the sort of respect that he commands from the other people in the industry, and the most apparent example of that is in Divangi, when Salman Khan was not even supposed to be on screen when Dharmendra appears, and he just jumps in, and everybody just hugs him and dances like him in. They do the famous or the infamous "Main Jatti Yamla Pagla Divana" step that Dharmendra can't dance, but this is the Dharmendra dance, and everybody joins in. It's such a thank you, Farah Khan, for doing that. I guess
and that's the interesting part. All of these reels and interviews that are coming up about Dharmendra, and the most one, probably my algorithm, is how many times Dharmendra said, "Salman to mera beta hai," like Salman to mere hi tarah hai, like Salman is like me, like
Mhm.
all the time. And he hearing it so many times from Dharmendra himself. And Salman is like one of, like, his image is very like alpha tiger male kind of thing, but he becomes such a bacha next to Dharmendra. And you see it in the Farah Khan, like the fandom dripping
Yeah,
from him is insane. Like the way maybe we would feel in front of Amitabh or Shah Rukh or something like that. That's what Salman has towards Dharmendra, right? And he's even said this in many, many interviews that he doesn't necessarily have this feeling towards Amitabh, but he does have it towards Dharmendra, which is just interesting. But Amrita, your thoughts on Dharmendra?
I love him. Beth and I have been talking, like, for like, I don't know, like 20 years now, about how he is, like Sujoy said, the most beautiful man in Hindi cinema. The two most beautiful men in Hindi cinema have been Prithvi Raj Kapoor and Dharmendra. And they were also like the most like masculine ideal, according to me, because like these are also the only two men who could wear, like, those little Greco-Roman
Yeah,
dresses.
yeah.
And they were the only two men that I can think of who had the thighs to pull that off. Like everybody else was skipping leg day, but not these two men. um, and the thing with Dharmendra is that he had so many facets, right? Like everyone, like, like you guys are talking about the He-Man years of the 80s. But my favorite is the very genteel, Bhadralok kind of
hmm
characters that he played in the 60s. And those are the roles that even he used to sort of talk about when he was talking about, like, oh, like the performance of his lifetime. He was talking about Satyakam. And my personal favorite is Chupke Chupke, which I made Asim watch. I told him it was an Amitabh Bachchan movie, and then he watched it and he was like, "You made me watch a Dharmendra movie," and I said, "Yes." And also, like, in the 70s, when you had all the Dishum Dishum movies come out and the Masala movies come out, he slotted in perfectly with those as well. Like, he was great in Manmohan Desai films. He was great in Sholay, like Mera Gaon Mera Desh. Like, he was able to move with the times, and I can't think of a single era where he wasn't a great fit you know And so, whichever decade you came across him, whether you came across him in the 50s and 60s, where he was just the most beautiful man, like in Bandhani, to this day, I don't understand how Nutan could have gone for Ashok Kumar. Like I understand it from a narrative point of view, but I am just like, nope, I don't get it. Or, like in his like it was like one of his first movies was with Meena Kumari, and there's a scene where she is lying down and she's pretending to sleep and she's feeling really scared because he's playing like this Galika Gunda sort of a guy with whom she has to stay, and he comes in the middle of the night and he takes his shirt off, and it must have been scandalous at the time. Everybody must have been like, oh my god, he took his shirt off, and also he looked great with his shirt off, which is not something that you can say for like most of the men that were acting at the time. You know what I mean? um, so he was a sex symbol. He was, the kind of guy that you wanted to bring home. But he was also like a man's man. He was a ladies' man. Like I
A
like,
poet also, like clearly,
yeah.
like the way when he's talking about it, there was an interview with him and Bobby Deol, and he was saying that my sons don't have the command of Urdu like I did. I'm very blessed with that Urdu came to me, and then just the way he used to speak, right? And it harkens back to that older era of orators, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
actors used to be orators and just like hold court. And I'm sure that watching Raj Kapoor, that's also something that they miss in Dining with the Kapoors, like that kind of thing where you're the center of gravity of attention in a way, and he had that.
And there was this interview, not an interview, I don't know what it was, but basically, Dharmendra and Dilip Kumar was sitting next to each other and they was just talking back and forth, and they were just doing it in Shairi. Like the
Yeah,
entire conversation was being, done in Shairi. And that's a kind of culture that I don't see today. Like,
yeah.
like who amongst these chunnu munnus are going to do that? Like nobody. But also in terms of Hindi cinema, like Sujoy was saying, this man has had so much impact. Um, Given the kind of movies that he financed and the people that he recruited, just right after he died, Ibrahim Ali Khan actually posted a tribute to him on Instagram in which he said, thank you for discovering my mom and giving her her debut, because of course Amrita Singh debuted in Baitab opposite
Mm.
Sunny Deol, and Dharmendra was the one who discovered her in Delhi and convinced her to come down and like play that character. And it's crazy, like we wouldn't have Sarah and Ibrahim if that hadn't happened. um, but also when Abhay Deol made his launch, it was Imtiaz Ali's first, mainstream like feature film that he directed, Socha Na Tha, and we have like Imtiaz, like Dharmendra to thank for Imtiaz Ali. It's amazing to me the impact that this man has had.
Yeah.
One more cultural impact that I would like to point out that probably would be skipped by a lot of people is that there is a string of B Town and even like comedy circus people, like the impersonators or mimicry artists who would starve to death if without but Dharmendra dialogues to go for. Like the
Mm.
Kutte Kamine Mein Tera Khoon Pi Jaunga is such a staple Dharmendra dialogue that so many mimicry artists have made livelihood out of, and I'm here for it.
I also just want to correct because when I said Pyar Kiya To Dana Kya came after Loha, he did two Lohas. So I just want to correct that because in my own mind that didn't make sense. I was like, wait, what? My monkey in my head was working. That doesn't
Which
make sense. So,
Loha?
yeah, there's two of them, so it's the second one. Anyway, shall we get into Blackmail a little bit?
Yes.
Uh, so this is a Vijay Anand movie, first of all, and when you were saying, she picked somebody, which movie you were mentioning, she picked person
Bandhani.
over. I had the same thought like 40% of this movie. Like I was just screaming, like, you have Dharmendra. Like, why are you still pining about Shatrughan Sinha? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. This is not like, this is an upgrade. This is not like, uh, uh, what's hum dil de chuke sanam, right? Like, I understand Aishwarya's pissed off, like, I get it. This is an upgrade, you're good, like, be happy. But do you want to give us a small summary, Amrita, of what Blackmail is?
Yeah, so this movie takes us to the wild, wild west of science, where, scientists are vying to create the next great battery.
Source of energy, yes.
Yes, of course. And like Dharmendra is a battery manufacturing magnet.
He's Elon
And
Musk. It's still about batteries, Amrita. We're
right,
still
right,
fighting
right.
about
Yeah.
batteries.
And
And
his uncle is Madan Puri, who is basically Rick
inventing solar power,
Doppler.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but also there's a rival battery manufacturer played by Iftikhar, who has a beautiful daughter played by Rakhi, who also has a nefarious boyfriend played by Shatrughan Sinha. And
Jeevan.
then Jeevan. And honestly, Jeevan is one of my favorite villains. Like he's honestly like, like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. And he's hustling. And he seems to have his eyes and ears open, and he seems to like understand where everybody is standing on the chessboard. For some reason, he's really deep in bed with the Europeans, which I don't really understand.
And specifically the Italians. Like,
Yes.
Antonio has a lot of pull in this solar power battery
Yeah.
scheme.
Golf playing Italians who are out to steal the formula
I,
for solar power.
I
Uh,
gotta say, that seems like the most, third world country golf thing that I'd ever seen in my life. I was like, what's
I mean,
going on?
it's
Antonio
literally
didn't get even the best golf. Like, they just
Yeah.
invite him
no,
to some.
it was literally a hillside somewhere, and
Yeah.
there is this scene where the head Italian honcho meets up with Jeevan, and he is delighted, like delighted to meet Jeevan, and he starts calling out to all his compatriots, and he goes, Federico, Domino, Angelino, and like all of them
Al
come
Salo, Al
running.
Cutto, Al Camino.
Sheila Jamalo, किसी कसूरों को कोई तो संभालो.
They're all wearing like knee socks and shorts, which was apparently the golfing uniform of the 1970s.
Yeah.
And they all come running like ants to like a piece of candy. And it's Shatrughan Sinha standing there, like, yes, come to me. And then they all just like huddle. So I can only imagine that they were like hugging and kissing Jeevan in the middle of that. So yeah, it's great. I love it.
I do have to say, out of respect for Dharmendra, we have to give this the Khandaan treatment. Like this, like, we cannot, like, be sad. We want to talk about this movie the way we want to talk about any movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sujoy, had you seen this? You hadn't seen this
I
movie
have
before,
seen
like
this
me, right?
movie in
You
bits and
had?
pieces on VHS many, many, many years ago. I have relived this movie obviously through the songs, but I haven't rewatched this in so long that I had completely erased every single memory that I had of this movie. So I didn't know what was going to happen, and it was all like shocks and turns at every corner. But also, if we are, can I start with saying how disappointed I am with the ending of the movie? Because
Mm.
Jeevan's whole plan, elaborate plan to get, you know, Rakhi, what's her name, Asha, to get married to Kailash. At the end, he's just using J.K. Shetty to, kidnap people and then ask for the formula. Why not begin with that rather than elaborately plan the whole wedding and Jaidat Hadapna and then the formula and all of that? I just don't get it. It's such a waste of energy and time and resources and everything.
I mean, there's a lot of in this movie that it is so of that era, like, the way you're talking about
Yeah.
the. But there was also just the way, maybe it was my print, but also the editing of it, where I was got really confused a few times. Right, wait,
No, I think
is
it's missing a few scenes, I think.
That's what it felt like, right?
Yeah.
Because there was like, oh, but she's already going out with Shatrughan Sinha, or is this a flashback, or like he was dreaming of them? And I was like really confused for a moment, but I was like, maybe it's just the print
So
I'm watching.
Wikipedia says this is 146 minutes, which is 2 hours 26, and the Shemaru print is like 2 hours 10,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so there are a couple of minutes missing.
Yeah, yeah. So it took me a while to kind of get settled into this. And then there's also just like, the action scenes are, the action is just so like because I'm an action guy, right? I
Yeah,
like
it's
watching
so of that era.
choreography. Yeah, and they're so flying kick reliant. Like there's so many flying kicks left and right, and a lot of the fighting is like very ankle based. Like they'll trap somebody with the ankle, kick them in the ankle, and it's like, why is ankle such a big thing? Like, what is happening here? So it's really funny. Like those kind of things are funny. But yeah, like you said, the songs are just amazing. I had not heard of these ones. Like I had not heard these songs, but I was humming them all the time.
Hmm.
But there's the first song with Shatrughan Sinha is a Kishore Kumar song, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Mhm.
And
yeah, मैं डूब जाता हूँ.
yeah, and I've never seen Shatrughan Sinha perform to a Kishore Kumar song. And I was thinking, like, some of these actors, when they would get a Kishore Kumar song, on the one hand, they were like, oh, Kishore Kumar ka gana mil gaya, like, happy. But on the other hand, this is the only cardio they've done in their lives. Like, they must be dying. Like, it's like, kudna bhi hai, baithna bhi hai, like, all of these things
Yeah,
happening. So, yeah, it's quite funny.
I
But
think the songs sort of get on different elevated uh, representation through Vijay Anand's lens. Like the way these songs are shot is they are a movie film school level of education
Yeah.
that future generations of directors had gotten. Like there would not be Farah Khan, there would not be Tum Kya Mile from Kuch Kuch Hota to Kuch Kuch Hota Hai without Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas, or
yeah.
how the camera moves, how the dream sequence that is happening in the song, they are both in the same room but they are separated just by light. The light shines on Dharmendra and he sings, and the light goes away, and you see that it's Rakhi's dream. It's insane to conceptualize that and bring that live on screen. And yeah, 1973, Vijay Anand made that happen in Blackmail.
I was watching also like because I've not watched like watched a few recently actually Vijay Anand movies, and the thing is like it's so competent, so talented, even not competent, talented, but also so different. Like you
Mhm.
can see that this was his world. He was playing these kind of movies have a very different, distinct vibe to any other
Yeah.
filmmaker of that era.
and
Like
and
you
you know
put
why?
what
It's very much influenced by Hitchcock. It's very
Yeah.
much the noir, also some sort of Bond in there.
Bond, yeah, very like spy, like almost Western in terms of
Mhm.
like I'm making fun of all the flying kicks, right? But that's like a very like kung fu, judo, karate kind of thing that he like incorporates in it, and I just think it's very like even this whole blackmail solar power thing that they're putting on there. It has like a lot of like Western cool
Mhm.
kind of concepts in it, and I could really appreciate like his different nuance on how he was making movies. I would say like I was watching this movie and I was like, Rakhi seems happy in this movie, and I was like, this is not gonna last. Like this, like it was 20 minutes and she was still happy, and I was like, something is gonna go
Yeah,
horribly wrong here. Like,
there is a particular reason why they hired Rakhi, and she delivered. And you
yeah,
were right on the money about that.
yeah. Does Rakhi ever dance? I've never seen Rakhi dance. I think
Mhm, because Rakhi
Hope
can't
not.
dance, Sala.
Yeah, I hope not.
no. Like it's just like yeah, it's like she's never happy and she never dances. Like happy, you need to be
Yeah,
very happy to dance. Like she never reaches that level of
but
happiness.
she's so
Rakhi.
great in lip syncing, though. She's
Mm,
so great.
Yeah. And
yeah.
also Dharmendra, like in Pal Pal Dil
Oh.
Ke Paas, like it's like one of the most intimate songs that I've ever seen on in Hindi cinema. And it's the way that like there's nothing happening on screen, right? Like she's reading letters. That is what is happening on screen. And he is basically just sort of like singing in her ear. And if you look at it with the lens of like 2025, you're just like, that's ridiculous. Like nobody will sit through that. But the thing is, like, even in 2025, when you're watching it, you can't look away because they have
Yeah.
like so much chemistry and there's like so much happening between these two characters. Um, and it's just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, the premise is outlandish, though. Like, you know somebody socially, and they just turn up to your house, drop like 50 letters. Like, I've written this, they are progressively intimate, from day one that I saw you to day 100. And I haven't spoken to you publicly for a while, but here are my 50 letters. Also, please don't ghost me. Just publicly say that what you want to say. Okay, thanks, bye. And then she goes through them, and then obviously the lyricism of the song and the beautiful visuals take over, but it's weird to think about it like that.
Yeah. So even the whole setup where Shatrughan Sinha kind of pulls away and then makes her marry,
Mhm.
Dharmendra, and then Dharmendra realizing that like, it was so much happening at the same time. Like, it took me a while to kind of get settled, and I had to really like put my brain into the
Yeah.
70s mindset of things.
What
But
I do appreciate that they don't linger in like miscommunication and that building into something else and that sort of magnifying things that would become like, oh, he said, she said, and people thinking a thing happens and that gets resolved in the same scene. I really enjoyed that, even though like then things escalate a lot more.
I also was like a bit disappointed that we didn't figure out who was paying Gangama, because Gangama was a shit stir, man. Like, she was really like,
It was Jeevan.
yeah, but I want to see like a camera pan. It's like him giving the money. Like, I want to see who it was. I want it spelled out to me. I'm like
Uh,
raised on Rohit Shetty movies.
Talk about spelled out. Like one of the reasons why I really love this movie. Like this is like one of the thing with Vijay Anand is like he really understands a trope and how to put it into his films. So this whole thing about like a forced marriage, people forced to be like in close quarters, and they have like sizzling chemistry, but they're both trying to fight it. Like these are very classic romance tropes, and he nails it. And even though he needs to put them in progressively insane situations in order to make it
Yeah.
happen, he is willing to go there and he does it with conviction. So there's that song like Mile Do Badan,
mhm.
which I have never seen anything like that wooden whatever it is that they are hiding in, right? Like I don't know why you would make a pile of logs in the forest and then hollow it out in the middle. Like what is the purpose of that? But for some reason they're like basically making out in like very scandalous ways for the
It's
1970s.
Amrita. It's actually a small shack, but because they painted light colors, it looks big from the inside. It's optical illusion.
It's early minimalism. Um, but it's a very sexy movie. And
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
like apart from Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra is the only other person that I've seen Rakhi have like chemistry with
Yeah.
in that way. And I was here for it. I'm seated.
Because there was that sequence where they have this massive fight, and then Uncle Aga, like Uncle
Uh,
Aga, and he's like forcing them to eat together, and then like it gets better. They like sitar starts playing, like so much sitar, like these are happy times. And then like Uncle is like, now I want a kid, and I was worried that Uncle jayenge nahi. He wants to stay there until it needs
Super
to
rice.
happen. Because Rakhi wanted to bang immediately after. She was ready, like bra thing, and then she was up for it. Like she had all of her jewelry and flowers on the bed and stuff like that, and then she's like realizing she got rejected, and it was not like the vibe was not right. Yeah, 70s vibes, when they get messed up, it's very hard to bring them back. Yeah. Final thoughts, because I know we're running out of time. What I did like about the ending of this movie, unless you guys have more thoughts, but at the end, Shatrughan Sinha has a moment to kind of repent, right? विलन सुधर गया, और हमारे टाइम में हीरो नहीं सुधरता. That's just one thing I miss about 70s movies. Like, at least our heroes don't even repent what they're doing, but at least here even the villains do. So I thought that was really cool about Blackmail. After all of the, revenge porn things he did with Rakhi, which was really weird.
Uh, One thing I noted was Madan Puri science guy, Professor Khurana, when he has his eureka moment and his laboratory has the brightest Diwali light arrangement where to show that his energy program worked. It was fabulous. I really
He
enjoyed
also had like Saif Ali's first part hair in Hum Tum.
Yeah, and the other thing was when Shatrughan Sinha sets up Rakhi and Dharmendra to meet for the first time to see the 70 varieties of roses in the garden. Nobody else is in the park, which is amazing because that was an era of no Instagrammers. So
Yeah, they all went to the golf tournament. No, that's why.
Well, I my favorite detail is the fact that when they want to mislead the Italians, then they build a fake facade of the house and set fire to it.
yeah,
And then they're standing behind the facade, going like, "Ooh, did they get it? Like, did they buy it?" And the Italians did buy it, which is why we never talk about the Italian Empire, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to trick Italians, first of all, and then I mean, clearly they got distracted by a wooden horse back in the day, so it's
yeah.
basically all the same.
And finally, because he's such a Bhodro look in this movie, right? Kailash played by Dharmendra throughout the movie. But at the end, in the climax, he gets to call Shatrughan Sinha is kutte ko. So I
Yeah,
was, like, heart was full by then.
yeah, cool. But Amrita, I'm really glad that you made us watch this movie. I would not have watched this without you recommending it, and I thought it was kind of like a lot of my notes were just what a handsome, handsome man, and I think that's really kind of like something that kind of popped up to me, and really happy that I watched this movie. So I don't think we could have picked a better one, but
Mhm.
I think suggest, if there's other movies that you want us to we should have watched, we can definitely debate them. Let us know. Drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. Let us know which is the standout Dharmender movie for you and why, and
Yeah.
we'll read it out. I think that's a good tribute because I think it
Yeah.
needs more. Dharmender was just one of those legends, and that just requires more than one episode about it, and we couldn't do a whole series, but yeah, this is what we could do. Amrita, any final thoughts?
Just that I love Dharmendra, and I know he hasn't been very active over the past 10 years or so of his career, but um, he was like such a genial presence, even when he was just showing up to support other people. And I'm really sad that we'll never get, like people just don't have the vision to get these people to just sit down while they're alive and just ask them about what it used to be like. Can you imagine like the stories that Dharmendra and Amitabh Bachchan could have told us? But then also we live in a time where if he had said, what it was really like back in the day, he probably get cancelled. Like I
Yeah,
remember there's
Yeah.
a he went with like Sunny and Bobby to Salman's show. I forget which show it was. I have no idea. Like I don't watch reality TV, but I saw a clip, and he was talking about like how Sunny is a very Sharmila bacha, and in Betab he had to keep telling Sunny that like Amrita Singh comes out of a body of water apparently wearing a towel, and he's supposed to like chance pe dance and like hug her, and Sunny was just like very gentlemanly and wouldn't like really like go for it, and then he had to like really tell Sunny to do it, and he said अगर मैं होता तो तुम्हें तो लड़की के अंदर से निकल जाता. And I was like, that is the kind of uncle humor like that does not play in today's day and age.
Yeah.
And he kept saying during that interview also that like how Salman was more like him, and he was like, you are more like me, like you would have known what to do. And Salman was cracking up, and I
yeah,
could see why Salman loved him and why he thought that Dharmendra was like one of them. And please, before people come for me, I'm not saying that, like the casting couch is a good thing, or that like women should be assaulted at their place of work. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there is a context to these people that we can now only ever speculate about because they are no longer there to talk about it. And that is really sad from a film historian point of view, because we should have had, like, why aren't we doing, oral histories with all of these people where they're just talking about like what it was like? um that would be, yeah, that would be ace.
I think I'm gonna cut those last 2 minutes so it does look like you're condoning the casting couch. I think we can get into trouble with more people. Come get it.
Uh,
Sujoy, any final thoughts?
about Dharmendra, like I'll have to, Rishi Kapoor, through his social media, in his, from his Twitter account, will be remembered as the angry uncle out with a drink in his Twitter. And then you have Amitabh Bachchan, sort of numbering every single tweet. There is a tweet by Dharmendra about, I think this came out during the promotion time of Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas, which is a, Blackmail connection there. Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas is a movie where his grandson, Sunny's
My God, I
beta,
hadn't even thought
debuted.
of this.
Yeah.
Okay, now I
So he
get it.
basically said, "Dear Sunny, dear Rajveer, I think is the name of the grandson. Uh, us devils only know how to make movies with all our heart, and we don't know how to play the media," or something to that effect. I'm just paraphrasing here, and that's kind of the image that I have of Dharmendra in his older years. We don't know him personally, obviously, but it's like all heart. Basically, this man is all heart, and he just gives love and warmth to everybody that he knew. And obviously, the one image that I have of him is receiving lifetime achievement at Filmfare, where he sort of broke down, saying because he never received a Filmfare Best Actor award in his
Hmm.
career, and he would say, like, every single year when he was nominated, he would go to the tailors, get a suit made, and he would never win. And when he is winning now a lifetime achievement, how much it means to him. And he sort of, with a cracked voice, he would say that. And that particular moment, how much we don't necessarily regard Filmfare, but of his generation, the actors that were, the way they saw Filmfare and what it meant for him and what that particular moment meant for him, that will stay with me. Yeah, those two stories.
Yeah. Well, I think it just, in a way, it's sad that we don't do this before, but it does kind of make you want to go watch and rediscover more of his career, which has been so vast. So I'm hoping for people like us, that like me, that hadn't maybe watched Blackmail, will get a chance to watch it and think about how cool and amazing it was. And yeah, rest in peace, Dharmendra. That's all we can say. Amrita, where can people find you online?
If you like this episode, then probably you should sign up for our Patreon, because that's where I talk about whatever's happening in Bollywood and just in general, what's happening with us, what's happening um, in the world. And it's usually a lot more unfiltered, it's a lot more relaxed, and it's a safe space for us to all talk about the things that we care about. Otherwise, you can also find me on Twitter at Amrita IQ, but that's getting less and less over the over the passage of time.
Sujoy?
You can find me on Instagram and not so much on TikTok, but my handle is at 93K. And you should follow the Khandaan podcast on YouTube, Khandaan podcast. You should find it out, like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for all our latest uploads there on YouTube. We have a lot of video content happening there. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, we're getting also murdered on YouTube. So if you do like this, just give a like or a subscribe or a comment. We would really appreciate it on YouTube. We have a few more episodes coming out. We'll have a kind of a catch up episode after this, and then we're going to be doing our best of episode. So let us know what kind of movies you enjoyed watching this year. And also, we're just wondering about what kind of format we should bring, because it's kind of a weird year where not too many good movies are out. But drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye.